You're listening to the Betoota Advocate's weekly news wrap on Desert Rock FM 96.5.
Welcome back to the Betoota Advocate News Bulletin here, recording live from downtown Betoota in the Old City District in the Budgy Smuggler Booth. Now, they are our sponsors, I'm sure you're aware by now. And autumn is around for a little bit longer. There's still plenty of time to get out there and swim. So if you've got the type of rig that you're proud of, regardless of how it looks, you should purchase yourself a pair of Budgy Smugglers and get out there taking the rays while you can, because it's going to be a cold winter with a lot of fucking flu. And by flu, I mean bat flu. And by bat flu, I mean the coronavirus. It hasn't really hit us yet, and it will. And when it does, we're fucked. So head to budgysmuggler.com.au and pick up a pair. Now, I'm Clancy Overall. You might know that by now, editor of the Betoota Advocate. Today I'm joined, of course, by Errol Parker, editor-at-large. Hello, Errol.
Hello, Clancy.
And, of course, Wendell Hussey, the Sylvia Jeffries of the Diamantina Shire. How are you, Wendell?
Very well, thank you, Clancy. Just got back to Dolphins training and I'm allowed to play in a couple of weeks' time, so I'm going very well indeed.
That's, of course, the Channel Country Rugby League. Crowds aren't cancelled over the next couple of weeks due to this coronavirus. It's fucking everywhere. They're cancelling everything except the NRL, and we've reported about it quite diligently. Take us away there, Wendell.
Coronavirus finally hits home as Ascot mum forced to reconsider Tuscany in July.
Horrible news, that is. And for our listeners who aren't familiar with the inner suburbs of Brisbane, Ascot is quite a posh suburb. It's your Toorak's, it's your whatever they have in Sydney. It's
Mosman.
It's your Mosman, whatever in Christ's name.
Peppermint Grove in Perth.
They have in Adelaide. Don't really know.
Everywhere in Adelaide's nice.
The inner cities of Darwin down near the casino down there.
Ooh, but yeah, that's beautiful. This woman must be from a high-income household, and she's forced to reconsider Tuscany in July. It is horrible news. And with casual blue-collar workers across the country forced to stay away from their workplace without pay, older working-class Australians have their super disappearing before their eyes, and a full-blown recession is about to hit Australia. Things are looking pretty grim for a lot of people, but no one has been worse hit than Ascot's Lorraine Silver Spoon. Her much-deserved holiday is in doubt, it looks.
And there was a comment on that one from Simon Holdsworth, who said, "All is not lost, love. At least you'll still be able to get your PE Nation activewear delivered and get the hired help to fetch the pork medallions from your bespoke butcher. Just imagine the Ks that you'll be saving on your Rangy."
Next story, Wendell.
Old Coastie, who missed out on toilet paper, has been chest deep in the surf for going on 30 minutes now.
Yes, the toilet paper hysteria is spread right across the country. One bloke who missed out was local surf club legend Timbo Loudmouth Leonard. He reckons he's sick of all the hysteria around this bloody bat flu, and he won't be letting it control his life.
So instead of panicking, apparently he heads down to the surf club every morning. However, one day this week he got down there to find himself staring at an empty toilet paper holder and realised he was in a bit of trouble. He had no poo tickets, no paper towels, not even the courier mail, he said. And at some point he realised the situation was getting quite grave, and he waded out into the big blue bin for a little while. Our reporter obviously didn't follow him out there, but noted that he was standing quite calmly for roughly half an hour and then left like the oversized cat he is.
And understandably, there were lots of disgusting names for aqualogs in the comments section of that article, like Chiquito, Bondi Mullets, and Burley Bobbers.
The Bondi cigar is a famous one. Not so much aquabogs, more sewerage. Before it got redirected, Bondi was known for having a lot of shit floating in it.
Moving along to some international news now, and Zuckerberg left reeling after Boomer denies Facebook permission to use personal data.
I've heard this is quite common, Wendell, that, a boomer will say, "I do not give permission to Facebook to use my data or photos," which, of course, trumps Mark Zuckerberg where he stands.
Yeah, and that's often followed by a giant chunk of text referencing things like the Rome Statute and vague legal principles that may or may not exist.
Anyway, moving on. What else is in the news there, Wendell?
Local news, and a bartender has preemptively directed ING cardholder to the cheapest tap beer this week.
Yes, the disciples of the Barefoot Investor and their orange cards seem to be everywhere nowadays. However, one bartender at the French Quarter knows how to read them like a book. She works down there at the Sailing Lumberjack, and she says when she's approached by an ING holder, a barefoot disciple, she usually makes some sort of crack about a spend or splurge joke to see if she can get a tip. Hasn't happened yet because the barefoot disciples are renowned for being so tight with their money, and in fact, she usually directs them to that green tap with that big VB on it.
Finishing off with some sports news now, and local man finally wins over the father-in-law with ability to supply footy live stream during distant family friend's wedding.
Yeah, it's a heartwarming story from Betoota Heights this week. One alpha patriarch who previously described his son-in-law as a fucking wet blanket, who wasn't anywhere good enough to be seeing his daughter, performed a complete U-turn after the young man pulled out a live stream of the footy.
Yep, the old Kayo comes in handy, doesn't it, Clance? Can take the footy anywhere, and for this young man, it's proven to be worth its weight in gold.
Let's just see if he can get through Christmas, because that is the real tester, and the Boxing Day test is still on free-to-air as far as we know.
Yep, but a little life hack coming from Errol here. If you find the Christmas period a bit tedious, you should try smoking some marijuana before you go out to Christmas lunch.
Sage advice. And on that note, we'll wrap up the Bulletin for this week. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to join us again in 7 days' time for your weekly fix of honest, hard-hitting regional news. Until then, I'm Wendell Hussey.
I'm Clancy Overall. Fuck Anthony Lister.
And I'm Errol Parker. Chuck you low.